109.9, the big one, your home for the classic rock and your Vegas giveaway trip weekend. That is coming up. Everyone who calls in, you got to be the 10th caller. When you hear the sound of the jackpot, you're going to win an all-expenses-paid trip to Las Vegas, including $20,000 in spending money. We're going to be doing it at every hour this weekend, so tune in. That's going to be a lot of fun. Johnny Lightning here on the Morning Storm, the big one. We have on the phone here our resident bear expert. It is bear season. We're going to talk to Professor of Bearology, Fred Rain. He's currently standing by at the University of San Francisco, California, at Phoenix. Now, Professor Rain, I understand you have some tips in case we encounter a bear, what to do.
That's true, Johnny. As you said, we are coming into bear season, so people need to be aware that bears are in the forest and will attack you.
Now, here at the big one in your local area, we have got a lot of bear attacks that happen every year. Approximately 7.8 people are eaten every year by bears. Most of them are babies.
That's true. Bears eat babies all the time.
It's a common occurrence. So let's say you're out camping in the woods, which actually you are right now. You're standing by in Phoenix, Arizona at the University of San Francisco, and you're camping just to give us a real-world experience and tell us what it's really like. First of all, is it safe to have a campfire going? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That is a good thing, because if push comes to shove, you can grab a log out of the fire and use it as a torch to try to ward off the bear.
Is it, I don't know if this is true or not, that you can also quickly fashion, if you have a pocket knife with you, it's a good idea to carry a pocket knife if you're camping, right?
That is true.
One of the reasons that it's helpful to have a pocket knife if you're camping is, like you said, grab a log or a stick out of the fire, and you can quickly fashion a spear, a flaming spear, dip it in some gasoline, light it on fire, and throw it at the bear, hopefully piercing it through the heart if it is a vampire bear, which are very common.
That is true. It might be a little tricky if you just have started using your knife to fashion a spear quickly, but I can do it in under a minute now. So I have no problem taking out bears, or the vampire bear, which you do occasionally run into.
That's true. 75% of all bear attacks happen by vampire bears.
That's true.
Okay, what if you can't fashion a spear quickly enough? What's another good way to thwart off a bear attack?
Throw food at the bear or around the area. Maybe the bear will go for the food. You could also throw things like your camera or keys at it. Bears have...
Fred, I'm sorry to interrupt you there. That sounds a little counterintuitive. If you want to throw your car keys at the bear, what if you want to escape or possibly even get in your car?
Well, since you're camping, your car wouldn't have to be locked. There's not too many people roaming and trying to break in and steal things in your car as long as you're there. So you could leave it unlocked, which means you could get in, but it would be difficult to get away, like you said. So you may want to have an extra set of keys. You could almost distract them by just jingling them. And
the bear might roll over, maybe bat at them a little bit, and then throw them off into the woods. And you said now throw a lot of food around your campsite,
yeah,
even to keep away bears before they come.
It does seem strange, because usually you'll hear to keep your food put away, but by spreading the food out, by having it around, that will keep the bear from coming to you, because they'll be distracted by the food.
And, if a bear's coming at you and you see the bear, you might have time to maybe react, a little more carefully and calculated. What are some ways you could do that?
The best way would be to taunt the bear, almost to challenge it to a fight, if you will. Actually, maybe put your fists up, call the bear names, of course. That way it will know that you're a human and you are going to fight it.
What are some of the names that you'd want to call a bear?
As we've said already, they're very, very dumb. So you could just call it a stupid bear if you're simple. But to be more creative, now some of the best insults that you'll want to use when confronted with a bear, when trying to insult the bear to scare it away. The first would be, "Hi, I'm Fred, and I'm a human being. What are you, bear?" It's effective. I have used that before. The next insult for the bear would be, "Listen, are you always this stupid bear, or are you just making a special effort today, idiot?" A third insult that you could use is, Hey, Bear, I heard you changed your mind, so what did you do with a diaper?
Professor Rain, could I interrupt you for just a second? I just had a question. You are a professor of bearology, correct?
That is correct.
And how does someone earn a degree in that?
It's actually rather easy. The University of San Francisco at Phoenix is the only school in the country to offer a bearology program.
I didn't know there were a lot of bears in Phoenix.
You would be surprised, actually. There are caves in the desert where they hide. Vampire bears do not need water, so the desert is a very easy place for them to survive.
Oh, I see.
I have one other good insult for a bear. It is, why don't you slip into something more comfortable, like a coma, bear? If you come over here and fight me, I'll put you in a coma, bear. Put your fists up, threaten the bear.
That just, I don't know. For some reason, these don't sound like very good bear safety tips.
Well, you are not a bearologist.
That's true. I am not a licensed bearologist by the state of Nevada. Now, let's say you have a small baby. Okay, what would be the best way to thwart a bear attack if you have a small child?
Use the child as a shield. If you don't have a small child to use as a shield, hopefully you've brought your pet along. You can use your pet as bait. If you're weak and do not want to fight the bear, you can fight a bear, though.
I wasn't aware you could fight a bear. Usually bears are several hundred pounds, and they're very difficult to fight. They're massive creatures. This really doesn't sound accurate.
I've fought many bears in my life, and I've never lost yet.
I just can't believe that. I want all of our listeners to know that you're claiming to be a licensed bearologist or resident bear expert here on the Morning Storm with Johnny Lightning and Tom Thunder. And you're currently at the university, you're teaching at the University of San Francisco, California in Phoenix. Fred Rain, Professor Fred Rain, I apologize. And you do have your doctorate in bearology.
That is true. I earned my doctorate.
And you say you fought off a number of bears. How many bears have you fought?
That is true. I have personally fought off 10 to 20 of those bear sons of bitches.
Tom! Excuse me, who is this?
This is Johnny Lightning at the Morning Storm on the big one, 109.9.
Johnny who? Johnny who?
Johnny Lightning?
Do you realize that you're speaking to a retirement home?
I believe I was on the phone with
No.
bear expert, Professor
Yes,
Bearology
resident is
at the
correct.
university.
Resident is correct. Resident is retirement home, Meadow Oak Farms. Have you heard of it?
Is it in Phoenix?
No, it's not. We're located in Edgerton, Ohio, actually.
Edgerton, Ohio. I believe I was speaking with Fred Rain at the University of San Francisco, California, Phoenix Bearology Department.
No, that's not who you're speaking to. I'm sorry, but we're going to have to cut this call short.